Welcome to this Grandma's Life podcast. I'm your host, theciaellis. Get ready to laugh, learn, and grow with me as we explore growing old in an ever-changing world. I'm getting older, and I've had a fascinating life. Even now, though, I am passionate about many things. I love to learn, I love quotes, and I care about my country. Join me as we explore loving life, even as we age. All right, today is June 5th, 2026, and this is episode 97, and it's called Burned Bridges. In this episode, I'm going to break my silence about this past year. But first, what's been going on? um, I think I told you on my last podcast that I had some confusion with my health insurance and got it straightened out and everything. And then I thought, okay, cool. Because I'm on Dupixent because I don't know if you guys have been following me for a few years that I had trouble with alpha gal. I've had trouble with severe eczema a few years ago and was just swollen and miserable and terrible looking, ugly. And so I went on Dupixent and it's a very expensive medicine. And so I'm really grateful that the health insurance had covered it. Well, um, when I got canceled because of the confusion, I was no longer on Dupixent, and that's why I've been having trouble with one of my eyes. Well, actually, both my eyes, but one of them was a lot worse than the other one. And so I thought, okay, cool. It was reinstated. Well, it was reinstated, but it didn't go into effect until June 1st. And then whenever it went into effect, I thought I was going to be getting the medicine right pretty quick. And actually I did, but they told me at first, they said, well, the insurance company is kind of fighting about it. So I was expecting it to be longer than it was, but actually, it came in today. I'm really grateful. I got my first injection in over a month, and I'm ready to heal again. So I'm really grateful for that. We had one of them, a couple in our church, an older couple. He has acreage about a mile west of where my farm is, and he does beautiful work over there. I mean, he keeps that place pristine. He has made two different types of zip lines. He's got a maypole type merry-go-round that he built. He's just got all kinds of things. He has built railroad track type things so that kids can ride on little go-karts that he had made on the railroad tracks. I don't know. There's just everywhere you look, there's always something he's built. And one Sunday night, I think it was like 2 Sunday nights ago, something like that, they had what they call a fellowship in the evening, and I got to take little Ivy, my youngest granddaughter, with me, who's 4 years old. And they've also got this, I don't know what, she's a lab mix, a yellow lab mix with short hair and very calm, very quiet. And she likes to sit in the sandbox and doesn't care that the kids will be playing in the sandbox and covering her up with sand and stuff, as long as it doesn't get in her ears or eyes or something. She just sits there and takes it. And there's actually a picture that I had taken with Ivy playing in the sand and Woody sitting next to her. And then I got 2 or 3 other pictures. But what's really kind of cool about it is because Ivy had never been over there. And of course, we all love that place. And Ivy got to ride on one of the little zip line things. And about the second or third time she was going out over the creek, she's yelling, "This is the best day ever!" So she had fun, and I'm grateful it was fun. So I took pictures and I sent them to her parents so they know that she had some fun. My friend Diana, get a little bit of background. Whenever I first moved into the parsonage here, she was already living here. She had been having some stressful things going on in her life after her husband died, and she needed a place to live. So the people let her live in the parsonage, and then I needed a place to live, so they let me live in too. Well, last year she moved into an apartment, and apartment life, it's not for me, and apparently it's not for her. So she has moved again. Well, you can understand, she's got a lot of stuff, and she has scaled back a lot, but she's still got a lot of stuff. And so Terry, the lady who's living in the parsonage with me now, and she and I helped Diana the other night, just a little bit, helping her move stuff in our cars, just some more little stuff and everything. So Diana is now in her new place, but she's got a long way to go to get it all put away. I was at work, I believe it was Thursday, and at my job, and a woman came in, and she was hungry, and she was looking for some food, and I opened a couple of cans of food for her because that's all we had basically is there was a little food bank there, and fed it to her, and she was needing some more stuff, and I was trying to call to get her some help because I couldn't leave work to take care of her, and ended up that I called Terry, and Terry was so sweet. I mean, I forget to tell people stuff. I just called Terry. I said, "Hey, can you come down here for a minute?" She goes, "Oh, absolutely." She comes straight down there, not even know what she's getting into. And Terry took her back to the parsonage, fed her eggs and toast and sausage, and let her take a shower and let her take a nap. Got it. And of course, we're in a clothing ministry. The building's here, and we chose some. Let her choose some shoes and some more clothes and stuff. And then whenever I got off work, she wanted to be taken to a hospital, so I took her down by the hospital in Claremore and left her. But I was so grateful for Terry because I've got a long way to go to learn about stuff like that. I think being autistic when I was young and still struggling with that a little bit when it comes to relationships, I'm not very good at that, and I had no idea. I mean, I was I just don't know what to do. So I was really, really grateful for everything that Terry did that day. And of course, the woman was a little bit crazy. Apparently, I don't know. It was interesting. I thought, and Terry doesn't pronounce words great, and she's going El Guapo. She says she's kin to El Guapo, the Mexican cartel. I'm thinking, what? And I looked it up, and El Guapo was in the Three Amigos. So that was funny to me. And then she goes, "No, it's El Chapa or Chop. So, oh, I said El Chapo. Oh, okay." And so we looked that one up, and that one was a real person anyway. But I don't know. I don't know that this woman was actually kin to El Chapo, and she certainly wasn't kin to El Guapo. So that was kind of interesting day. Uh, let's see what I'm listening to. I'm listening to an interesting book called How to Change Your Mind by Michael Pollan. I'm just on my first listening to it. I'm still learning a lot from it. It's an interesting listen, and I'm learning a lot. That's all I can say for right now, I guess. And I'm on the second listen for Saint Odd by Dean Koontz. And I think I have to admit, of all and I love Dean Koontz, obviously, you hear me with that, but I think that the Odd Thomas series is probably, from everything I've read so far, is probably my favorite series of his. So actually, I'm on my second listen for that one, and we'll see how that goes. I just finished the Keto After 50 book, and tonight I'm going to start reading a book called Soup by John Gordon, and this is a nonfiction book. It's something about building a team or something. I don't know, but I'm going to start that one. And then I'd already, for my fiction book, I have started reading the Dean Koontz Bad Weather Friend. So me back on my Dean Koontz again. All right, my quote of the week is, "Many do." Now, this is something I had done a few weeks ago, one of my quotes of the day, and it fit today, though, I think. "Many do with opportunities as children do at the seashore. They fill their little hands with sand and then let the grains fall through until all are gone." And this is by Thomas Jones. And I believe I looked up the right Thomas Jones because, this is a fairly common name, but I think I found it. And Thomas Jones Jr. was born in 1882 in Boonville, New York. He was a religious poet and editor for the New York Times. And his work is celebrated for its precise, dedicated style and themes of memory, longing, and spiritual mystery. He died at the age of 49 from complications of influenza in 1932. And I didn't go too deep into anything with him because I wasn't really 100% it was shared with him, but it gave me a little bit of an insight of the person who possibly, most likely, wrote this particular quote of the week. And that was, "Many do with opportunities as children do at the seashore. They fill their little hands with sand and then let the grains fall through till all are gone." And I will go into why that fits, but it is as I go through today's podcast, and it's going to be a rough one, I won't lie. But basically, we've had 26 and 2/3 acres that we've had to opportunities with, and I believe that they have been sifted through little fingers until all the sand is gone. That's kind of the way I'm feeling about the place right now. Okay. So the main subject is called burned bridges. So I have not spoken to you very much about what I've been going through. It's been 15 and a half months. It's almost 16 months already. And because my lawyer told me that I should not, he said he knew that I was doing different things with social media and stuff, but told me be careful and not to talk about this case. Well, and I think I've said this before too. Every once in a while, I'm kind of getting an attitude about it because there's been a lot of crap going on that I basically feel like I've been turning the other cheek over and over and over, and I'm kind of getting tired of turning the other cheek. And it's been a true nightmare. So some of this stuff I'm not going to tell you because it is still a little bit sensitive, but I can give you a little bit of a background of what's been happening, and then go into what I believe I can tell you because it was on the news. Tom has had trouble with bipolar disorder for I don't know how many years. It, and I say that because I believe he probably had it all along. His dad had it. His sister's on medication for it. He's got another sister who's severely depressed. There's basically it runs in the family. But Tom's cycles have been so slow. Like we're talking 8 years of depression and then like 2 years of mania. And so whenever I was thinking, oh, when Tom starts talking to me again, then now I'm thinking, yay, I'm getting my husband back. And then he goes straight past that into craziness, not bad craziness, but the spending too much money, doing too much of this, that, and the other thing. And he is much more animated when he's in the manic stage. And so some part of me kind of liked it whenever he was doing that, but because I wasn't smart enough to know that that's what the issue was. But then the last time he had gone into the mania stage, we almost lost everything then. And that's kind of when I started putting two and two together and realized that, okay, this is a disease. So when Tom started, we're talking about 8 years of just not even hardly speaking to me 2 words a day to difficulty. So in late 2024, Tom went into a strong manic stage. He was spending everything. It was sad to watch him because he would get on his phone and he was just maniacally punching numbers into his phone, trying to order this and order that. And he was filling up the barn secretly of all the things he had ordered. And he was really going through the money. And the money he was going through was part of his inheritance from his mother. It's his money. That's fine. What you do. But I also at this point understood that this was, once he went through that money, it was going to be a problem. And I was right. He sleeps less. He's up all hours of the day and night and everything and doing, it's kind of difficult. By Christmas of 2024, he was full blown screaming obscenities at me 2 or 3 times a day, follow me from room to room, screaming at me and accusing me of things I would never have done. And it was kind of a nightmare at that time. By January came, he had had a complete psychotic break. He was almost not sleeping at all. He had started drinking again. He'd gone out to the barn and would drink and call people on their phone, his friends, and put him on speakerphone and be yelling obscenities at him. And you think he's angry, and he's not. He's talking. He's enjoying talking to this person, but he was just yelling at the top of his voice with obscenities to his friends at middle of the night, So yeah, it was kind of crazy. And so we had a few arguments and stuff. And at one point, I think that's when he decided he wanted a divorce. And I wasn't seeing it. He had talked about one of his other friends who was filing for divorce, and he was mad because this guy was kind of getting the raw deal, according to him. And so even then, I didn't catch on. And then all of a sudden, he went and got a protective order, said that I had pointed a gun to his head and he was afraid for his life, and he had me taken off the farm. And at first I was and then he told me not to get a lawyer. He goes, I'm filing for divorce. You're not getting half my retirement. You're not getting half my land. You're not getting anything. And don't you get a lawyer? Well, I got a lawyer, and I did live with my son and daughter-in-law for a while. And but then whenever I got a chance to move over here to the parsonage, I was moving here. Then the courts dates started happening, and sometimes Tom would show up and sometimes he wouldn't, but he would never do what he was supposed to do, like turn in, there's a lot of paperwork you got to fill out. You got to state what bank accounts you have, what assets did you have before you got married, what assets did you get together, what assets have you, just all, there's a lots and lots and lots of things to do, and he would never do it. And then half the time he wasn't showing up to court, and then about the time we thought, well, okay, we're going to get a judgment by default, he shows up, and he went through 3 lawyers, and the lawyer that he has now has quit twice and come back. He's back on the case again for now. So we're talking about 4 different lawyers this man has gone through for one reason or another. I don't know, but that can give you an indication of his mindset and stuff. And he has been living an interesting life. And that part I can't tell you right now too much either, but it's been kind of crazy. During this last 15 and a half, we'll just call it 16 months now, because and next week is going to be 16 months. During this 16 months since I've been off the property and he has filed for divorce and stuff, he has actively worked to make sure that there was nothing to split with me. He emptied his retirement account and spent it. And then I have discovered recently that he has actively destroyed the farm. And I hadn't been on the farm. I mean, I knew it looked bad when I would drive past it. When I try not to drive past it too much, because if I ever saw my dogs, it was very, very, very painful, because I was usually going someplace and I couldn't stop to see my dogs, and I missed them terribly. And I got to visit one several months ago, and visiting Beethoven was a difficult time. I loved seeing him, and I was grateful to see him, and he was really grateful to see me, but it was very, very hard. And I won't lie, it put me into a pretty good depression for a few days. Tom has burned bridges with many friends and family. And of course, he's obviously burned bridges with me. He has done some pretty crazy things. He's done some pretty wrong things, and it is just part of his illness. Right now he's not just manic. He's had a psychotic break, and it's been bad. So because he has burned the bridges with so many people that has been known and loved him for many years, his new friends are not nice people, and it's been kind of a thing. So we had and then he was telling me, I had several people that were telling me that he's going to kill me if I get the land, because that's the only thing that's left is the land now. I mean, he's destroyed, even though he's gone through all the money, he's gone through everything, he has destroyed my farm. I mean, it's literally. So the raw land is still there, but that's all that's left. And we were together for 20 years. Actually, we were together longer than that, but we were married. Well, we're still married because we can't get that together. And this fall, we will have been married 20 years. So he was supposed to show up to court on May 18, and he didn't show up. So that was the time that his lawyer bowed out a second time, because he didn't show up. And this is the part I can tell you about for sure, because it did make the news. The next day, one of his cousins contacted me and said that Tom was in the hospital. He'd been beat up pretty bad. And so that's why he wasn't in court. And I'm going, oh, well, you hate to see where somebody gets hurt and stuff, but he's in bad shape. He was actually, when he was supposed to be in court, he was actually having his wrist, put pins in his wrists and stuff. And then a couple of days later, they had to put a rod and pins in his back because it was broken. And he's got broken ribs. He was having brain bleeds and stuff. So he was in pretty bad condition. So what he had done the day that he was supposed to be in court at 2:00 in the morning, he had taken a friend home. So I would guess that he probably was at a bar and closed down the bar. took a friend home, and from what I could tell from the news story and from him telling his story to other people too, after he dropped his friend off at home, he saw a couple at a convenience store that was closed, and they were having an altercation, and he pulled over, and when Tom pulled in, for some reason he decided to get involved with this. When Tom pulled in, the guy jumped into his truck and drove off. So then Tom rolled his window down and asked the girl, and she was only 17, and the guy was 20, I believe. And he asked the girl if she needed help, and she goes, "Yeah, I need to go home." And found out where she lived and started driving in that direction. Well, the guy in the truck came back and started chasing him down, cornered Tom in his Jeep that he'd bought since he filed for divorce. That cornered him in a dead-end street, drug Tom out of the Jeep, and beat him up real bad, was kicking him, and Ted was kicking him and blacked his eye. His eye was swollen shut, and obviously, like I said, broken wrist, broken ribs, broken back. And so the guy kicked him enough that he was unconscious, and then drove off, grabbed the girl, and put her in the truck. From what I understand from the news thing, though, is he shot at her several times. I think they found 8 bullet holes in the truck. He never hit her, thank God, but he shot at her, and he pistol whipped her all the way to another town several miles away. And when they got there, he shot himself. So this girl, she'd had a rough night, no doubt about it. Tom regained consciousness, crawled into his Jeep, and went and got help. And he's been in the hospital since then. I mean, he's in a rehab hospital now after he's had all the surgeries he needs for now, I guess. And so because he has had a legitimate reason to not be in court, we're giving the judge and the lawyers are giving Tom 2 months to recover, and hopefully he could show up to court in July. And get this. Well, when he didn't show up to court on May 18th, I got temporary ownership of all 26 2/3 acres. And because he was in the hospital and I didn't have to worry about getting shot or anything, I decided to go to the farm. And I won't lie, I knew it was going to be bad. I knew it was. I've had people who tell me that what little they've seen of it was bad. And when I went there, it was good to see my dogs. I get to see my dogs every day. I go out there and feed them. And in fact, that was the alarm telling me it's time to go out there and take care of my dogs again today. But when I say my farm is destroyed, I'm not exaggerating. The front door has been open for weeks. So the chickens are living in the house. There are holes in the wall, external holes. There's holes in the floor where you can see the ground. There's filth everywhere, just everywhere. I trying to go in there and find some of my belongings because I haven't had access to my belongings in all this time. And they're just buried in filth and garbage and wet clothes, dirty clothes. Just, it's bad. A window is busted out. And for a long time, I knew this from, well, Kinzie, my granddaughter, had been taking pictures for a long time. For some reason, he had crowbarred open the back door. And the only thing that was my back door was a Trump flag. So you know that animals and everything has been crawling in and out. It's moldy. And Tom's sister came down from Wisconsin. She turned on the electricity, which means I knew he didn't have electricity last July, which all the food that I had put in the freezers, and we're talking like a lot of chicken, some turkey, venison, pork, a lot of the stuff that I had raised myself, the chicken and the turkey I had raised myself, and the pork were ruined. In fact, the big freezer that's still in my pantry room is still there, but I'm afraid to open it. I'm pretty sure it's just absolutely full of rotten chicken. And the other two freezers that were in the barn, he just drug them outside and opened them up. And if something came along and ripped everything open and ate it, that's fine. So now there's rotten meat and plastic packages and stuff all over the place out there too. Everything's overgrown. He's got piles and piles and piles of garbage and clothes and stuff. Just the barn. It's a 4-bay barn now. He added on a fourth bay, and all 4 bays are completely full and filthy. The brand new bathroom that I finally worked toward is destroyed. Everything is destroyed. It's bad. And another thing too, though, because I had a YouTube channel, Grandma's Homestead, and I haven't been on the homestead. I mean, we're talking a long time. So I was trying to keep it propped up by doing cooking videos. Well, the cooking videos are just not doing that well. I had trouble with lighting. I had trouble with, I don't have the equipment to do it, but I had to do something. And I was getting so close to being monetized and for this to be ripped out from underneath me. And I've been trying to save it. And the only thing is that YouTube channel is on life support now. And then now I'm trying to decide, do I even want to continue? Because basically forever now, I'm going to be, if I get the land, I don't even know if I'm going to get it permanently anymore because nobody knows anything. I don't know. And I'm not going to start cleaning too much up because I may not keep the land. If it's his, it's his. And I don't want to have anything to do with it. So I don't know what's going to happen with Grandma's Homestead. We'll have to find out. It is good to visit my dogs every day. They're happy to see me. I'm so grateful to see them. And we're waiting for the next court date in July. It's been a very rough road for a whole lot of things. And one of the things I know that I'm supposed to be learning from this is learning to trust God, to learn to rely on him and know that one way or another, it's all going to work out. And part of the reason I know that too is one time a couple months ago, we were going to go to court that day. And I'm literally in the shower saying, God, I don't want to do this anymore. And he very distinctly told me, have patience. I've got something glorious for you on the other side. And all I could do while I was in the shower is go, okay. I hate that Tom is sick. I hate that he's so hurt now. But man, he's burned some serious bridges with me. And I don't care if he ever even finally decides that he did. Because the biggest problem is he refuses to acknowledge that he has an issue. And if he ever even decides to see that he has an issue and wants to start taking medications, I can't take him back. I've got to have a life. I can't live thinking that because his father did that. His father was bipolar. And at one point he says, well, I'm feeling good. And he went off his meds and caused a whole bunch of problems too. And I can't do that. And I told my pastor that. So I've got a mess on my hands. I'm still trying to figure out how to handle it. I'm surrounded by some truly good people who are taking good care of me. I'm very, very grateful. I'm grateful for this place to live. I'm grateful for the friends who surround me and pray for me and make me laugh and show up to court with me and stuff. I mean, I'm blessed. I can tell you all day long about all the terrible things I've been having to live with, the nightmares and the fear and the frustration and hurt. And but I've been surrounded by good people who truly love me, and I'm grateful beyond measure for it. So I'm sure there's going to be more to this in the future. But I just, because this made the news, I thought, you know what? I've kept my mouth shut for too long, and you can always speculate, when people are going through divorces and stuff, what happened and everything. And I'm not going to lie. I haven't been in our marriage. I was good to him. I mean, I wasn't perfect, but I was good to him. And I tried hard to take care of him. And, yep, he's burned some serious bridges with me. So my question for today is, what crazy sagas have you lived through or are living through now? Give me an email at theciaellis@gmail.com. And I really pray that you have your stories are funny or fun or something, but I get a feeling some things just not. They just they're just difficult, and that's the way it goes. All right. StreamYard is the platform that I use. Is it a platform? I don't know what's called. It's a tool I use for recording these podcasts. You can do both audio and video. You can do audio only, and you can do both of them together and stuff. And it's cool because when I first started trying to do this, I was trying to figure out how to take video and strip the video from it or something, or strip the audio so I can have just the audio or something. I don't know. I'm trying to learn things the hard way. Of course, now technology continues to expand to the point where you can learn to do stuff, and StreamYard is on top of that, and they do a lot more than I do. But if you ever have something that you want to put out there, podcast, even just like things like this, doing video things where you can see stuff, it's a good platform. You can do live feed. You can and even not only can you do live feed, but you can actually set it up where you can be on Facebook and TikTok and all them at the same time if you want to. That I just don't. But StreamYard is a good one. I have a link down below that if you want to go through that and check it out. I would highly encourage it. I also have Grandma's Homestead.farm. It's a website that I have been putting blog posts on, recipes, and just kind of catch you up on what's going on in my life and everything too, in a different form if you want to read it. And I'm using that to learn how to write and stuff, because like I said, I've had kind of an interesting life. It might make a good book one day. But yeah. So it's been fun. It's been rough. I've got, like I said, though, I've got some good people here with me, and I'm grateful for them. But it's not over yet, and I'll keep you posted, and we'll see what happens. All right, guys, no matter what, live until you die. This is the only life we have. Roller coaster that it is. Live, enjoy life, do the best you can. God bless. I'll see you next time.